Yo, what's going on, guys? Battle Director BiseProductions coming at you with another battle, and today I got you a Wi-Fi battle that is in the OU tier. It's actually against one of my good friends, Pedro, aka the Great Bulbasaurus. Now, this man is a really good GFX artist, and he is also a pretty good battler, and he has his own channel as well. So if you haven't heard of him, or if you don't know who he is, if you are interested, I will leave his link down in the description box down below. Now let's get to it. He's bringing some power. Looking at his team, he has a very bulky offensive type of team, which is pretty intimidating because you got the Heatran, and I know beforehand that it is actually a Scarf Heatran, so it's an offensive Heatran, which that is very scary. I have to look out for that. The Clefable is a calm minding Clefable, which is also a humongous ginormous threat with Moonblast and Flamethrower. He's also got the Thundurus. It's more of like a bulky Thundurus. He's got of course, the AV Conch. He's got the Beeflosaurus, as he likes to call it. He's got the Mega Venusaur, which is actually physically defensive, and he's got the standard lead Mamoswine. So I'm bringing power because as soon as I saw the Aegis ban, I knew that Mega Medicham is gonna rule the OU metagame, or he's gonna be up there. He's gonna be really hard to counter or to take a hit from because he is so strong. So I got the Mega Medicham, I got the Focus Sash Breloom, the bulky Latios, special standard Greninja with Life Orb, the AV Gudra, and the Rotom Wash just for those Talonflames. So looking at his team, I'm really thinking that he wants to lead off with the Mamoswine just so he can get the rocks out of the way, because he'll probably think I don't really have a Defogger, because I mean, sure, Latios learns Defog, but a lot of the times they're usually Specs, their Life Orb. So he's probably going to lead off with the Mamoswine, which allows me to start off with my Medicham, and I can honestly just go for a Fake Out, so I could get a free Mega Evolution off. And with that, I'll just be able to Drain Punch it away, or, you know, just do whatever I want. Basically, I can go for a Fake Out on this whole team. He doesn't have a Ghost type, so I do not have to worry about that. So as I predict correctly, he starts off with his Mamoswine, and I saw it from my Mega Medicham. So here, I kind of figured that he was going to switch out. Like, even if he was Sash, the Fake Out in combination of a Drain Punch would take him out, so the Sash would be nullified. So at this point, I figured he would switch out. Not quite sure what he was going to switch out to. I mean, the Mega Venusaur was kind of obvious, but I didn't want to like play it. I wanted to play it safe, kind of. So I went for the Drain Punch instead. I just went straight away for the Drain Punch. And even look, even a physically defensive Pokemon that resists Drain Punch, that did a hell of a lot of damage. So here's gonna Mega Evolution up, and he's gonna think he's gonna take the Psycho Cut really nicely, but sorry, man. Mega Medicham is way too strong. Had I been adamant, I would have definitely taken this out, but he managed to survive with like a sliver of health, so he goes for the Mega Giga Drain. I knew I could take a Giga Drain, so he's gonna switch on out and bring in his Heatran, and knowing that Psycho Cut, there's nothing that is immune to Psycho Cut, I went for it again just to be on the safe side because Drain Punch would not kill, and it still did a decent amount of damage to that Heatran. I know it's not defensive at all, but here is a free switch into my Rotom Wash because Heatran can't really do much to me. It resists both its stabs, and the Flash Cannon, it quad resists. So I had nothing to worry about to bring in my Rotom. Now at this point, I wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do. I felt like the Mamoswine switching was way too obvious, so I just went for a Volt Switch, thinking that I could switch something else in. But he does manage to make the obvious play and go into the Mamoswine. Predicting really nicely. I was thinking more the Conkeldurr was going to switch in, but he actually brought the Mamoswine, which is a good play. But Mamoswine can't really touch me, and he went for Endeavor here thinking that he would outspeed me, that I would outspeed him, but he's quite wrong because it's a physically defensive Rotom. So I went for the Hydro Pump, and obviously it's a miss, obviously, right? Who hits Hydro Pump? So here he goes for his Stealth Rock, and you know what? I'm going to manage to go for Hydro Pump yet again, but guess what? This Mamoswine is like a ninja or something, and it could avoid all my Hydro Pumps. I'm telling you, all my Hydro Pumps. So here I figured that he knew what I was going to go for, and he was going to bring in probably his Mega Venusaur, so I just went ahead and Volt Switched on out to get some switch initiative, and this brought me a free switch into basically whatever I wanted. But at this position, I was just going to bring in my Latios because it does outspeed, and it does manage to hit quite a bit on his team. So I just went for a Side Shock here. Sorry, I'm going ahead of myself. I'm going to get damaged by the rocks. I'm going to get some lefties because I did mention that I am more of a defensive Latios. Well, just a bulky Latios. I mean, I have max speed and some investment in health and just a little bit of special attack, but that's going to be more than enough to take out this Venusaur. I have Side Shock specifically for Venusaurs. Psychic is actually a pretty good offensive typing now in the OU metagame. Just for Venusaur. Mega Venusaur is such a threat. So here, I'm going to go ahead and switch on out back into my Rotom because, I mean, if this thing isn't packing Freeze Dry, which I would have known by now because they already revealed it. It should have revealed by now. It's a safe switch in. It can't touch me. It can't touch me at all, especially since he's going for the Endeavor. So I know his plan. I know what he wants to do. He just wants to get himself down to the sash so he can just Endeavor me, which is not a bad play. But I'm gonna go for the Hydro Pump here, and I miss again, guys. This Mamoswine might have like bright powder or something. You know, at this point I'm like, what's going on? I've never missed 3 Hydro Pumps in a row. That's like, what the hell is going on right now? So I go for the 4th Hydro Pump, and I do manage to hit finally, thankfully. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so at this point, Mamoswine is just trying to weaken me because he's like, you know what? I'm tired of switching out. I assume he's tired of switching out. So he just wants to get that chip damage off with the Ice Shards, which is understandable. I mean, he's probably feeling bad to not missing so many Hydro Pumps. So here he goes for his Endeavor. He finally manages to have his technique to go down, and I didn't want to risk another miss with the Hydro Pump, so I just managed to hit the Willow. It does have a higher accuracy, so I mean, chances are I would hit the Will-O-Wisp. So I do manage to get the Will-O-Wisp off, and I do manage to take it down. I'm sorry. So here, this is pretty much a safe switch into the Clefable. So here, I need a Volt Switch on out of here because I know what this thing wants to do. It wants to set up a few Calm Minds, and it just wants to wreck my entire team, and I do not want that to happen. So I'm going to make a risky play here, knowing that this Clefable carries Flamethrower and Moonblast, 2 things of which demolish me since I have a horrible defense with Breloom. But I bring in my Breloom, predicting him to go for a Calm Mind, predicting him to want to set up so he can just sweep my team, because in reality, yeah, he can sweep my team if he sets up a few Calm Minds. So that would have been his most optimal play. But I switch in Breloom here just to get a free Spore off. If he wanted to switch out, then something was gonna go put to sleep. But he does manage to stay in with his Clefable, and I do manage to put it to sleep. That was the one answer I had to my team. That was a very risky play because had he just gone for the Moonblast or the Flamethrower straight away, he could have swept the Clefable. I mean, I have no answer to this thing. I really don't. So here I go for the Bullet Seed, just trying to wear this thing down. Basically, like, if he wakes up or anything, I could just revenge kill him with anything I want. So luckily, I do get a crit there. And luckily, twice as lucky, I do manage to get a 4-hit Bullet Seed. So that's going to be great. But he does manage to get the first turn Wake, which is good on his part too, and manages to take out this Breloom, which is a humongous threat to his team as well. Now, what this allows me to do, now that he is +1, I don't want to mess with any threats, so I'm just going to bring in my Medicham here and basically just revenge kill. Here, I'm going to go for the free Fake Out because he doesn't have nothing to switch out to for a Fake Out. Even the Heatran, I'm telling you, even a Heatran would take a decent amount of damage from this Mega Medicham Fake Out. So, predicting the switch, I go for the Drain Punch here. Because honestly I was expecting the Heatran to resist the Psycho Cut. But I figured Drain Punch would still kill the Clefable, and it would still do a number to his team. Look at that, guys. That Thundurus is bulky. I know beforehand that Thundurus is max HP. Look how much that Drain Punch did to a max HP Thundurus. I mean, it doesn't have the best defense, but it's resistant and it has max HP. Pure power, man. Mega Medicham is pure power. So I'm going to bring in my Rotom Wash here, basically to sack it off. I knew he was going to go for a... basically anything he went for, I was just gonna sack this off. That way I could scout and see what he wanted to do, see his thinking process essentially. So he basically wanted to cripple my Medicham and get it to just get it paralyzed. So now I know his thinking. I'm gonna bring in my Goodra, knowing that even that he packs HP Ice, I'm still gonna be able to eat that up because I am AV Goodra. So that won't do that much of damage. So here I went for the Dragon Pulse. Simply because if he stayed in wanting to go for Nasty Plot and then go for HP Ice or something, you know, I didn't want him to get a free setup. But here he switches in the Clefable, which is cool, but I don't really mind that switching because I do outspeed the Clefable. I'm naturally faster, so I mean I didn't need to worry about that, and I do pack the Sludge Wave also. So yeah, that was pretty unfortunate on his part. I was thinking maybe that he was probably thinking that he could outspeed me. But anyways, he brings in his Conkeldurr here. I don't want to mess with this threat. I really don't. So I'm going to bring in my Latios. Another risky play because he could have easily just gone for the knockoff here. But he went for the Drain Punch actually, which is a questionable play, I think. because a knockoff would have done a decent amount to the Gudra as well. And I think it would have been in range to actually revenge kill with the Mach Punch. But anyways, he went for the Drain Punch, and I go for the Side Shock here just to get any damage. Here's gonna go for the knockoff. I don't mind because I do have a few Pokemon that could take care of the rest of his team. Latios wasn't really needed that much. So I bring back in my Pure Power, and this thing, I'm telling you, this thing is such a threat. This thing is such a threat. Now here, he was probably predicting me to go for a Fake Out, but I had no reason to, in all honesty. I just went straight away for the Psycho Cut, and which was a great play on my part as well, because had I gone for the Fake Out, it would force me to switch out again, because he would go for the Thunder Wave, and I don't want this thing parried at all. So that was a decent play on my part. Now he's gonna bring in his Heatran, and again, I know this thing is scarfed. Beforehand, so I really gotta play around with this thing. But I honestly have a safe switch in with Gudra, because at this point, I mean, I don't resist Flash Cannon, but I could take at least like 3 Flash Cannons from this thing. So he goes for the Lava Plume here. It does. I was actually surprised it did that much, considering I'm Assault Vest. So he goes for another Lava Plume. I'm pretty sure he just locked himself into that because he wanted to get like a burn on something. But surprisingly enough, I carry EQ on this Gudra. I carry the EQ on this Gudra. Why? Because this is my OU Gudra, and a Heatran completely walls this thing, barring Muddy Water, but EQ just demolishes it, as well as other, as well as like Aegis Slash when it was still in, and when it was still a thing. So he brings in his Conkeldurr here. Anyways, sorry about that. He brings his Conkeldurr, and I do manage to outspeed and take it out with the Dragon Pulse. But overall, that was a really good game. That was an intense game. His team is quite a threat. Again, he had nothing but threats on that team, so I really had to play smart. Really had to play smart to become the victor. But if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, give me some feedback. If you also enjoy my content, be sure to subscribe to me. I have my link down in the description box down below. So if you enjoy my content, be sure to check me out. I do a lot of Wi-Fi battles, and I'm starting a Let's Play. I'm actually doing a Let's Play with a partner of mine, Hermsar. So if you enjoy my battles, again, check me out, and thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment again, and thank you for supporting Mount Silver Battles. I am Bice, and I will catch you next time.